Here's something nobody tells you about wealthy people. It's not what they spend money on that separates them from everyone else. It's what they refuse to spend money on. And most of those things you're probably spending money on right now. Hi, I'm Hana, and welcome to Mind Bloom. Today we're looking at 10 things that financially successful people consistently avoid spending money on, and the psychology behind why. Because wealth is not just about earning more, it's about where money stops. Number 1. Impressing people that don't actually care about. The new car parked in the driveway, the designer item worn to a party, the vacation posted for an audience that will forget it by next week. Research in behavioral economics consistently shows that a significant portion of consumer spending is not about the item, it's about the signal. What this says about me, how this makes me look, what people will think. Wealthy people, not the performatively rich, but the genuinely financially stable, tend to have made a quiet internal decision at some point. They stopped buying things to communicate to people they barely know. The psychological shift is subtle but significant. When you stop spending to perform, the money stays. When money stays, it compounds. When it compounds, the performance becomes unnecessary because the actual results speak for themselves. Number 2. Solving emotional problems with purchases. You had a hard day. You're stressed, bored, lonely, anxious, and almost automatically something gets bought. A takeaway meal that costs twice what cooking would. A thing you didn't need yesterday and won't remember next month. A subscription started in a moment of optimism. This is what behavioral economists call retail therapy, and it works, briefly. Because spending triggers a dopamine response that temporarily eases discomfort. The problem is that the discomfort returns, and so does the spending, and the cycle quietly drains wealth before it can accumulate. Wealthy people are not immune to emotional spending, but many of them have, deliberately or through habit, built alternative responses to emotional discomfort that don't involve the credit card. The money saved from that one pattern alone over a decade is staggering. Number 3. Paying full price when a negotiation is possible. Most people never negotiate, not their salary, not their rent, not their insurance, not their cable bill. Because negotiating feels uncomfortable. It feels presumptuous. It feels like you're asking for something you don't deserve. Wealthy people, as a group, negotiate significantly more than average, not because they are greedier, but because they have a different relationship with money conversations. They understand that the number first offered is rarely the only number available, and that the cost of asking is almost always zero, while the benefit can be substantial. Studies on salary negotiation alone show that people who consistently negotiate earn, on average, hundreds of thousands of dollars more over the course of a career than those who accept the first offer. The discomfort of asking lasts 30 seconds. The result lasts years. Number 4. Lifestyle inflation. You get a raise. The apartment gets bigger. The car gets newer. The restaurants get more expensive. This is lifestyle inflation, the near-universal human tendency to increase spending in proportion to increases in income. And it is one of the most efficient ways to ensure that no matter how much you earn, you never actually build wealth. Because wealth is not income. Wealth is what you keep after spending. And if every increase in earning is immediately matched by an increase in spending, the gap never widens. Financially successful people tend to be unusually disciplined about this one thing when income rises. They delay the lifestyle upgrade, not forever, but long enough for the difference to become an asset rather than an expense. Number 5. Products that solve problems they don't actually have. The fitness equipment that never gets used. The course that never gets finished. The app subscription solving a problem that wasn't actually painful enough to require a solution. This category of spending is driven by aspirations, by the person you imagine you will become when you buy the thing. Wealthy people are not immune to aspirations, but many of them have learned to test aspirations before they fund it. Before buying the thing that will make them the person who exercises every morning, they exercise every morning first, without the equipment. Before buying the productivity system, they test the habit. This one shift from buying into aspirations to testing it first eliminates an enormous category of spending that delivers almost nothing in return. Number 6. Convenience they could afford not to need. The food delivery app that charges a service fee, a delivery fees, and a tip on top of a meal that costs twice what it would at the restaurant. The last-minute flight because the trip wasn't planned far enough ahead. The small purchases scattered across the day that feel negligible individually and are significant collectively. Wealthy people are not cheap, but they tend to be intentional about convenience spending, treating it as a budget category rather than an invisible leak. The difference between unconscious convenience spending and planned convenience spending is not quality of life. It is awareness, and awareness in personal finance is almost always worth money. Number 7, financial products they don't understand. The investment that sounds sophisticated. The insurance policy with terms they've never read. The financial instrument recommended by someone whose incentives they haven't examined. Warren Buffett has a rule: never invest in a business you can't explain. The psychology behind the opposite behavior is well documented. It's called authority bias, the tendency to trust people who appear expert, even when we have no way to verify their advice. Financially successful people are not necessarily more financially literate at the start, but they tend to be more comfortable saying, "I don't understand this yet, and I won't put money into it until I do." That habit of requiring understanding before committing has protected more wealth than almost any other single behavior. Number 8. Trying to time the market. Pulling money out when the market drops. Waiting for the right moment to invest. Moving things around based on headlines and predictions. This feels like smart, active wealth management. The research says something different. Study after study shows that individual investors who try to time the market consistently underperform those who simply invest a fixed amount regularly and leave it alone. The psychology behind this is loss aversion, the human tendency to feel losses roughly twice as painfully as equivalent gains. When the market drops, the pain of loss motivates action, and that action almost always costs money. Wealthy people who build wealth through investing tend to be remarkably boring about it. They automate. They ignore the noise. They understand that their emotions are the biggest risk to their portfolio. Number 9. Things that depreciate immediately and continuously. A new car loses a significant portion of its value the moment it leaves the lot. The newest phone model is worth less the day the next model is announced. Wealthy people are not against cars or phones, but they think differently about the depreciation curve. They ask, is the premium I'm paying for the newest version returning anything, or is it just leaving? This question, what is the return on this purchase, is one of the most consistent habits of financially successful thinking. Not every purchase needs a financial return, but every purchase benefits from being made consciously rather than impulsively or out of habit. Number 10. Paying for the same problem twice, the gym membership that doesn't get used, and the guilt that leads to buying a new one next January. The meal plan that gets abandoned and the new one purchased 6 months later. The financial advisors whose advice was never implemented and the money spent on another one to hear the same things. Wealthy people are not perfect, but they tend to be honest relatively quickly about what is and isn't working, and they stop paying for things that aren't working rather than hoping this time will be different. This is harder than it sounds because stopping requires admitting that the original decision was wrong, and that admission is psychologically uncomfortable in ways that keeping a useless subscription is not. But the cost of that discomfort is small. The cost of paying for the same problem repeatedly for years is not. So, how many of those 10 felt familiar? I want to be clear about something before we finish. This video is not about judging how you've spent money. It's about making visible the patterns that most people operate inside without ever examining. Because most spending decisions are not decisions at all. They are automatic responses to social pressure, to emotional discomfort, to aspirations, to convenience, to habit. Wealthy people are not people who never have those responses. They are people who, at some point, began to notice them. And noticing just that is the beginning of something different. If you want to go deeper on the psychology behind all of this, Morgan Housel's book, The Psychology of Money, is the best place I know to start. Link is in the description. If this video helped you see your own spending patterns more clearly, please share it. Someone you know is working hard and wondering why it's not adding up, and this video might be the beginning of their answer. I am Hana. Take care of yourself. See you in the next one.